My name is Joshua Nelson. I'm the founder and CEO of Emotional Ideals Incorporated. We are a patented sports and entertainment technology company that has combined interactive gaming technology with real electric motor vehicles to bring movies and games like Mario Kart or Speed Racer to life, finally introducing a new segment of gaming that I like to call battle racing.
Battle racing. Where do we start with that? Because I mean, that's an interesting concept. Obviously, Mario Kart and games like that, they have a huge following, and people have been playing them games since and stuff. So actually, let me take a step back before we even get to battle racing. What was your upbringing as far as games and gaming and all of that stuff? Because I'm sure that has something to do with leading into battle racing and stuff like that. So what were you playing like growing up? Like, what was your gaming sort of life like as a kid and stuff like that?
I was born in 1992.
I'm 91, so I'm right there with you.
So I got a chance to see, the whole Sega Genesis and Dreamcast era, into the PlayStation 2, 3, and up like that. So Game Boys, that was my thing, so that's mostly what I played. Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP. Like I said, I caught the tail end of Sega Genesis, but at that point they came out with PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast, so I got a chance to get into, high graphic gaming. I feel like I was a standard kid. I played games, then went outside and played the rest of the day. And then when I came back inside, it wasn't the era where you can connect your system to the internet. So I played with what I had. I was one of those kids that played like Crash Bandicoot all day. But when I didn't have a memory card, I'll leave my PlayStation on all day because I'm trying to beat the game. So I think just playing those type of games kind of sparked my creativity. I was also one of those Lego kids. So I played with Legos and just used my imagination to build things. And that's what kind of, I would say, transpired into today. I wouldn't say that I'm the pro gamer, but I'm just a average individual that loves playing games, that had an idea and acted on it.
Yeah, for sure. So to segue into battle racing, where did you even sort of start that idea? Like, where did that even start to cook to where it was like, oh, this could be a fresh idea on top of this sort of platform? Like, how did you even get that working?
Let me take a step back. I'm born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I went go-karting at a local track that we call Put golfing games here. And when I went go-karting, I found myself like head-to-head with this other driver. And neither one of us could truly get ahead of each other outside of traditional means of just waiting for somebody to mess up and hoping that my go-kart was faster than yours. And so, out of frustration, I kind of had an idea. I was like, what if I could take a page from Mario Kart and like shoot a virtual missile turn at his go-kart, slowing him down, simulating damage, and then like speed boost around him. And when I got done go-karting, like I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like I was talking to family, friends, strangers, and like the consensus was, well, if you can't stop talking about it, maybe you should be the one to make it happen.
Yeah, so, no doubt.
So in my last year of college, I kind of like buckled down, began my research, and this idea started to take legs. I met my co-founder. We kind of put our heads together, wrote a business plan, and that's what formed Emotional Ideas. And at that point, we put our money together, filed our first patent, which was granted within 4 months. And at that moment, we was like, oh, we must be on to something. Because it normally takes like a year or two.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ours was granted literally within 3 or 4 months. And I was like, oh, okay. And then at that point, we built the team, raised additional funding, built the prototypes, and took the prototypes back to that local track that I first had the idea at, and let the general public test it out, and people were blown away. So I was like, oh, yeah, I think it's time to introduce the next evolution of what I call motorsport racing. Some people get in their feelings when I say that, but I grew up watching TV shows like Speed Racer. Yeah, movies like Death Race. I was like, oh, that would be kind of dope without the diamond, And then, of course, Mario Kart has always been hot. So I said, why isn't this a thing? Like a thing?
And I mean, thinking with the technology and just sort of where things are going, that is a really fresh idea with the whole virtual, could be missiles, could be anything. How did you sort of go from the idea to actually being able to implement the idea? Like what went into actually, making that come together?
I know a lot of people look at virtual reality and headsets, and to me, I just feel like virtual reality isn't where we want it to be yet. And so I wanted this to be more practical in nature. So my thought process was, okay, let me study Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, Disney Speedstorm, all these games that incorporated combat motorsports. And I was like, okay, how can I make this practical on electric go-karts? And so I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I don't have a whole bunch of money. So I was like, how can I do this without breaking the bank? So I took off-shelf electric go-karts, and what we did is we designed our own gaming steering wheel. We took some display screens and mounted them to the go-kart and HDMI'd them to a CPU. And then we just basically coded the graphics. And I designed the power items, the layout, the UI. And that's really what sparked what we call Turbotron. Turbotron is what I call my own version of the game. However, the hardware is designed in such a nature that I can partner with any existing movie or gaming IP and bring it to life.
Gotcha.
So essentially, we developed our own on-cart gaming console, if you will. Again, I just wanted to be practical. I put a review camera on it, sensors on the front and the back. And then lastly, I was like, okay, I feel like we're missing a piece. And that's when we developed the landmines, which is what we call now Power Box. And so they're like, flat LED screens on the ground, and we put a sensor under the go-kart that read the colors. And it gave the go-karts a certain function, whether it's a speed boost or damage or restored health. And so for me, I was like, okay, I think we really own to something here. Yeah. And so I think my guilty desire is that I would like to see combat motorsport become mainstream, like NASCAR, Formula One. But what if we had a new industry vertical of racing that the younger audience could get involved in? Essentially, I was trying to bring Speed Racer to life. And I think we brought it to life.
Basically, you are creating a simulator of sorts, not necessarily a simulator.
These are real moving cars.
Yeah, you actually have the actual cars. How has it been as you're sort of developing? Like you said, it has been, you've kind of put it in certain places and let people sort of test them and stuff like that. What has the reaction been to it? Like, how have people been receiving it? As far as playing it, as far as the whole idea around it, like what is the general feedback you're getting?
When people first initially hear about it, it's one thing, but then when they get into go-karts, it's a whole nother experience. And then to know that these are just prototypes, this is not even the full market-ready version. The market-ready version will have haptic vibrations in the seat and steering wheel and a mobile app that syncs your profile with the go-kart, so the go-kart knows who's driving it. Like, it's a whole infrastructure set up around how we want to do this thing. But initially, right now with the prototypes, people are excited. They're like, how can I sign up for the sport? Like, how can I sign up to be in a league? Like, when is this coming to my city? And I'm just like, hey, I'm trying. I'm just a young startup. I'm trying my best, because this, to grow it to where we really want it to be. I hate saying that it's expensive, but it needs to be done right, and it has to be done safe. And these are real moving vehicles, and it takes money to make this thing happen. A lot of people want me to make this happen on a shoestring, and I'm like, no, if y'all want the experience that you desire, then I have to put some real funds behind it to make it go. But the general consensus among the public is like, hey, we support you 10 toes down. Like, keep pushing, young man. Like, keep pushing. Like, this is something that we haven't seen. Not necessarily creating a new business, but creating a new industry vertical. I think is dope. NASCAR started in 1948. Formula One began in the 1950s, but the go-kart invented in 1956. So here we are in 2025. Not really much has changed. And that's why I say I'm excited to introduce a whole new industry vertical. And I know a lot of people, they feel a little funny when I say that, but I think it's time. If you want the youth to get involved, you want this generation, everything's new today. Everything's innovative today. So why not innovate racing?
Like when we were growing up and people were driving like box cars and mopeds and things like that, to me, it's really not that much different. And I mean, you in Memphis, I'm in Nashville, so it's not a lot of go-kart things, period. But I mean, there is like sort of like a factory here where like they have like the little tournaments and stuff like that. And I mean, when people hear about it, it's like, why don't they? I don't hear nothing about that. And it is like sort of like you kind of got to be in the know sort of thing. But like, I'm sort of looking at it now and just sort of looking at like the car. And I mean, it's very technical. You got the screen on it. I mean, it looks very much like you playing Mario Kart or Crash Bandicoot or something of the sort. So that's really interesting. I guess, what does the future look like for you as far as, once you do sort of get a little bit further along, get more funding, get, the things that you sort of looking to get, like, what is the next steps for battle racing? What is the next steps you looking to take as far as a company as a whole?
So the name of my company is Emotional Ideals, but our first flagship product is what we call the battle racing or Turbotron battle racing.
Mm-hmm.
More specifically, we call the technology the Battle Console RS1. We got a 2-seater version of it that we are also working on. That I think is going to be dope once we get a chance to debut that. But the next stage is I really want to try to secure a licensing deal with a major video game. I want to take one of these iconic brands or games and merge it with my tech and say, okay, now you guys can enjoy Hot Wheels in real life. So that's the vision right now, is to be able to do that. A lot of people are not aware that my patents cover both small engines and larger engines. So my long-term vision is I would love to put this on bigger, faster vehicles and truly create a new billion-dollar motorsport.
That would be interesting. I was just getting ready to say, like, as you were just talking about, that's definitely like not necessarily like NASCAR segment, but it's almost sort of how they have it segment off between like trucks and like that, where it's like you just got another lane where you just fill in another void of smaller engines, big engines, especially in the go-kart. Because I mean, like, everybody have fun on go-karts. Like, that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like it's an idea where people aren't gonna enjoy themselves or people aren't gonna have fun and things like that. Where you at in Memphis to like sort of branching out and stuff like that, how you like reaching out to like different places to kind of get the go-karts in different spots, like how you like networking and building that brand and that awareness around your product.
Yeah, so I have my own vision of what I really would like to do. But as you know, in business, I have to stay flexible. I have to stay flexible with the opportunities that come my way. Idealistically, I want to have my own exclusive facility. Think about like a Top Golf, but instead of golfing, it's battle racing. But you can come in, you can come hang with your friends and spectate and get out of the go-karts and look up and see your score, what place you ranked in. That's my vision as a whole, is to have my own location-based entertainment center exclusively for battle racing. But again, we're flexible in that we want to partner with iconic brands, movie titles. I mean, at this point, any racing game or movie we feel like we can bring to life. Fast and Furious, Mad Max, you name it, I believe we can bring it to life. Because again, the system is not just the ability to shoot each other. It's a whole bringing or merging the gaming virtually with the physical. And so just being able to feel that G-force as you go around corners and hear the engine rumble and the speakers behind here, that whole thing is what I really am excited about doing. But again, our vision is to get a facility. We're reaching out to gaming companies to see if they're open to IP licensing deals. And again, I'm also just trying to see who is open to investing in us to get our own facility. I mean, it's just kind of hard to let that vision go, because if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it.
Talk a little bit more about like projects that you have and sort of how do they either differ or sort of build onto battle racing? Like, just kind of what is the overall vision as far as what do you want to do with emotional ideas?
The slogan for Emotional Ideas is innovative ideas driven by emotional passion. So my thing is, I just take things that a lot of us grew up with, and I find a way to make it relevant again to the next generation. And that's kind of what we did with go-karting. Okay, it was cool. How can we make it relevant to the current generation? So we're doing the same thing with other aspects, other things as well. And so I tell people we are a sports and entertainment technology company. If it's within sports and entertainment, we're open to looking into it. That's everything from, again, go-karting all the way down to the photo booth. How can we innovate all those things and make it relevant again? So I got to kind of, I guess, etch my name in the sand with this project to build credibility to the next thing.
How can people best find battle racing? How can people best reach out in case they do want to either invest or either want to talk to you about sort of bringing it to their little side of the world or whatever the case may be? Like, how can people best reach out to battle racing or find you and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we're on all major platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Just search at Battle Racing Live. And in some places it's at Emotional Ideas, but for the most part, you can go to our website, battleracing.com. Make sure you're typing in .com, because there are other companies that's trying to use the name Battle Racing that people have mistaken for me, and that's not me. So battleracing.com. But again, if you're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, search at Battle Racing Live. and you'll be able to see that.
That's cool. I'm definitely gonna have to get down to the M and check this out, man. That's definitely.
I'm trying to bring it up your way. I'm trying to bring it to Nashville.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and I think you all only have one go-kart center. I think it was called Music City, but I think it's called
yeah. So, and most of the time, that's what I was kind of talking about. Like, it's places like that, but they'll be booked up because it'll be a lot of league racing. Like, they do a lot of league racing and stuff like that, which is really cool. But it's just like it's not a lot of, I guess, for the masses or like the general public to sort of experience something like that. We do have a lot of gaming bars and that whole arcade, beercade sort of thing. An idea like that is definitely on par because people, I mean, we have Axtron, we got everything like that. So like if you're doing stuff like that, I mean, shoot, go-karts fit right into that. You know what I'm saying? Especially like you said with the idea of having almost like a Topgolf idea where you can have people come in and eat and do different things. And so that's definitely an idea that I think you definitely should keep building on for sure, because that's definitely got
I appreciate
legs
that.
to grow for sure.
I appreciate the support, man, because I got a lot of naysayers too.